Quakers settled in Pennsylvania. They were an offshoot of the Puritans in England. They were even more persecuted than the Puritans. And there are several reasons why. And this kind of gets to the next one. What differences are there between Puritans and Quakers? Okay? Quakers believed that everyone was equal. Hence, they used the to form when they addressed each other. They talked to everybody regardless of who you were with thee and thou, which would be like the to form of Spanish and the to form of French. Okay? They did not believe in war. They believed in peace and brotherly relations. So if we have a disagreement, we need to sit down and talk it out. We don't need to get out into fisticuffs or eventually between countries actual war. They believed everybody had an inner light. That was God's presence, the Holy Spirit's presence in you, and all you had to do to find salvation was to get in tune with your inner light. Did you need to be able to read the Bible? No. This is where Quakers and Puritans really disagree, because Puritans believed to find your salvation you needed to read the Bible. Quakers did not. Which is interesting because Massachusetts has really, of course, a very rigorous education system going from the get-go, but Pennsylvania does too. In Pennsylvania, children were encouraged to go to school, even though it was not for religious purposes ultimately, which it was in Massachusetts. Okay. Anything else you can think of as the difference between Puritans and Quakers? Rhode Island and Pennsylvania. I suspect on the original test there was only one of the questions, but the kids remembered that Pennsylvania also had religious toleration, but I would guess that Rhode Island was the one they asked about. Proprietary colonies. What is a proprietary colony? No, that's called a joint stock company. Okay, so Virginia starts out as a joint stock company. It goes to a royal colony eventually. Massachusetts Bay Colony, which is John Winthrop, is a joint stock company. Pennsylvania, however, is a proprietary colony. What is a proprietor? An owner. So proprietary colony is one that is owned by an individual or a group of individuals. So Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, the Carolinas, those are all proprietary colonies. Georgia, there's an owner or owners. Penn controls Pennsylvania. After about 20 years, he turns everything over to the people of Pennsylvania and goes away. Eventually, the original proprietors die. Like in Georgia, the main proprietor is Oglethorpe. He dies, his influence dies with him. Okay? In the first 3 decades, meaning 1607 to 1637, most of the immigrants to the U.S. were from what area or what country in Europe? England. The answer is England. We're talking about the people in Jamestown. We're talking about the Puritans. Where were they all from? England. Which colony was most important to English trade? Virginia, Massachusetts, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, or New York? Which one? Virginia. Why? Tobacco brought in a lot of profit. Okay? King Philip's War. Who was King Philip? Pardon me? Ah, thank you. He's an Indian in this case. We're not talking about the King of England or Spain. We're talking about an Indian chief in New England who wanted to regain the land of his people back from the Puritan colonists. They attacked a bunch of villages. At first were doing very well, and the Puritans rallied around and managed to fight off King Philip and kill him and his followers and push the Indians further off the land. Okay? Any questions on any of that? All right, let's look at the groupings and the dates. So we have 4 separate groups. Within each group, we're going to put them into chronological order and give the date. So between Columbus comes to America, Reformation began, Roanoke established with families, or Spanish Armada defeated, which is first? Really? Roanoke is before anything else? People! Columbus!
Who said Roanoke?
OMG, I can't believe it. So it's Columbus. What year? 1492. Then number 2. No. It's not Roanoke. No. It's the Reformation. And the Reformation, remember, is Martin Luther breaking away from the Catholic Church. We're talking 1517. 1517. Number 3, now's the time, Roanoke, established with families. 15, what part of the 1500s? Nope. 1587, the late 1500s. Then the Spanish Armada is defeated in 1588. Remember, John White dumps the people off in Roanoke and says he'll be back in a year. He doesn't come back the next year because the Spanish Armada is invaded. So it takes him 2 years to get back, and he comes back in 2 years, and it's gone, vanished. Okay. The next set are 6 different things. First slaves into Virginia, House of Burgesses set up, Jamestown established, Plymouth established, Santa Fe established, a Winthrop City on a hill begins. Jamestown, 1607. 1607. Number 2. Think about this before you blurt something out. No. The oldest state capital in America is Santa Fe. So number 2 is Santa Fe is established. Between 1607 and 1609, the Spanish fought the Indians in the area of Santa Fe, and by 1609 had totally taken over Santa Fe and established it as a city. Okay? It is not the oldest city in the current United States, but it's the oldest state capital. The oldest city is in Florida, St. Augustine, and it's like 1560s. Okay? All right, number 3 and number 4 both occur in 1619. House of Burgesses is established, and now's the time for your other one, Matthew. The first slaves. So both happened in Virginia in 1619, the House of Burgesses and the first slaves. Number 5 or number 6 are both Massachusetts. Which one comes first? Plymouth is number 5, and number 6 is Winthrop City on a hill. Plymouth is what year? 1620, exactly. And Winthrop comes 1630, 10 years later. Okay, the next one, Harvard College established, Old Deluder Act passed, Roger Williams banished. Which one's first? Roger Williams is banished. 1635. Then Harvard, 1636. And then the third one, Old Deluder Act, is 1647. Okay? Remember that the Old Deluder Act is education in Massachusetts, setting up schools to teach boys and girls to read. Okay, the last 3, Bacon's Rebellion, Halfway Covenant, and Salem Witch Trials, 1662. Halfway Covenant, 1662. The second one, Bacon's Rebellion, what year? I think it's an historical irony year. 1676. Why is that ironic? Because 100 years later you have this whole revolution. Okay? And number 3, of course, is the Salem Witch Trials, which began in 1692. Lasted for how long? 1 year. 1 year.